It all started 15 years ago and 1,500 miles away in Nottingham, a career that took Chris and Jane to 3 world titles and gave them as much worldwide recognition as Nottingham's only other hero of note, and his reputation was built in folklore. They're a private couple, and in these interviews over the last 3 years, we've attempted to quench just some of the enormous thirst for knowledge about this marriage of extraordinary talents. So how did it begin?
It was through a teacher that I had when I was in junior school. She decided to organise a trip to the ice rink on Friday evening, and I liked the sound of it, and I went sort of a couple of times and then pestered my parents for my own skates and then carried on from there.
Chris, when did you start skating?
Well, I started when I was about 10, I think. I seem to remember 10. My mother wanted me to have some sort of activity that I could do outside of school, and she'd done some skating herself, so she suggested that I try it. I went down to the ice rink and had a look in, and I said, okay, I'll try it. And it was round about Christmas, so I got some ice skates for Christmas, and well, I haven't stopped since.
How did you see Jane?
As a skater or...
Well, either.
Well, as Jane said, I was without a partner at the time, and I'd always done dancing, and really, to do competitively, you've got to have a partner, so I was quite desperate, really, to get a good skating partner. That's the only thing that came along. But no, seriously, we said we'd try it for a month, and then we tried for 2 months, and it just progressed since then. And really, we've never said that we'll stick at this someday.
Right. Did it work instinctively and very quickly?
We both enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Anyway. We really sort of...
We gelled quite quickly.
We looked forward to coming to each session and practicing and things. It was...
I think the good thing about it is that Jane, we complement each other's temperaments more than anything, because I can get a bit fiery sometimes, and Jane's pretty sort of placid, and it calms me down. He just sort of bounces off her.
He panics and I don't, and that's all.
The magical chemistry between the electrician's son and the newsagent's daughter first began to happen here at the Nottingham ice rink one summer night in 1975. It was the brainwave of their first trainer, Janet Sawbridge. Already, though, they'd shown their potential. Jane, an impressive figure skater, moved into pair skating, won first the junior title, and then in '71, the British Senior Championship, before her partner, Michael Hutchinson, left for London and Jane resumed her freedance career. Chris had already won the junior ice dance title with another Nottingham girl, Sandra Elson.
I was going through the stage of 16-year-olds. All my friends were going to discotheques, you know, and having a good time. And I was sort of getting the itch, so, well, I wanted something different, not early morning skating. And I was going out a few times. Funny enough, I used to go out with Jane in the evenings. That's the most interesting part about it, because Jane and I got along very well. And then it got a bit of a rift.
Were you difficult to work with, or was he, or were you both?
I don't think it was difficult to work with. Basically, we got on quite well. We had our rifts the same as, well, petty little arguments, the same as every ice dance couple or pair. There's not one I could say that they don't have an argument once in a week, or something, some disagreement of some kind. The thing was, I made it quite open if I was upset about something. You know, I was a bit too much. You could say, I don't know.
So Chris and Jane came together, and immediately they made great progress, finishing second in their first tournament in Bristol. But as the partnership expanded, so did the problems of combining their sport with their work. Jane was a clerk in an insurance office, and Chris was a policeman working the most unsocial shifts. But how was this ice skater going down with his mates on the beat?
I worked quite a lot with him because I went all the way through with him and started actually on the beat the same day. And so we had quite a few jobs with him, and I enjoyed working with him. He was a good lad.
Must have been difficult, though, with him in the force and she with her job as an insurance clerk, to fit the time together.
Yes, because Chris's shifts, I think, made it harder as well, because Jane was regular day shifts, 9 till 5. And so I should imagine it upset her more than Chris, because they had to work the training round Chris's shifts. So I think Jane sometimes had to start at 3 o'clock in the morning without going back to bed, start work, and then go again at night. So she must have been worse than Chris.
She kept extraordinary hours, obviously, with all this training she had to do. What was she like in the office?
Oh, very tired, very tired. She'd go home and have a short break and then come back to the office, but she'd be very tired, especially by the end of the day.
Yes. Did you have any time when she was slumped over the typewriter?
She was slumped over her desk a few times.
And gradually that daunting schedule of work, skating and virtually no sleep began to take its toll, and Chris eventually had to resign from the force and look for sponsors willing to finance their training. This wasn't resolved until the winter of 1980, when they received £8,000 from the Sports Aid Foundation and £42,000 spread over 3 years from the Nottingham City Council.